So as we all know, there's a right way and a wrong way to do things.
Like the right way to ride a horse, or the wrong way to do a Lord of the Rings series. But when it comes to fantasy swords, there's definitely a wrong way to do them, which is why today
We're going to do it the right way, by casting them.
Oof, I had a horrible dream I wasn't a blacksmith for a second there. So, we're going to start off with a sword. It's got three main parts, the handle, the blade, and the spike at the end. And we're going to start by roughing out the shape of the spike. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bar of steel out, I'm going to hold it over the edge of the anvil, hit it down, and then back into itself to form a right angle, and then form the spike. So I need to find a bar of steel that I can put on the ground, and I can take a leaf spring out, that will be the sword, and start bashing on it, and then it'll flatten out the end. Maybe.
You're training to be a ranger.
What's a ranger, yeah. So now the spike's roughed out, we're going to forge down the blade on the power hammer. Think a bit more in the power hammer here, and then we'll work on the handle. And while that's heating up, I'll do a bit more of ranger training. Now we've finished drawing out the blade, we're going to hot cut it here and then work on the handle. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, that's handy. So what I'm going to do is use the power hammer to draw out the handle. And I've attached a wee die on it to hammer in an offset to keep the back of the blade flat, just like in our drawing. Now we're going to do the nervous part, we're going to do the bevels. Draw down the edge of the blade. I need to twist the tip that way and hammer in there. So that's the blade pretty much forged. The spike and the handle are done, but it's still very, very heavy, so I need to take the weight out of it, but I can't draw it down any further, so I'm just gonna grind it down and make it a wee bit lighter. So the reason I'm annealing it is because I've put a lot of stresses hammering it and grinding it and do all little bits and bobs. So what I'm going to do is put it backwards and forwards through the forge until it's nice and red hot, and then throw it in the kiln wheel, and it's going to release all the stresses, so when we hit iron with it, it doesn't break. I honestly don't think we'll be able to anneal it.
These are no mindless orcs. Their armor is thick and their shields are broad.
Wrong side. So I've drawn out the shield, it's on an old oil tank. The HR came in and he was like, you gotta make cutbacks, gotta save money. So I pinched my neighbor's oil tank and that's what I'm gonna make out of. So I've drawn the spikes on, but we're actually gonna make them separately.
Fool of a took.
I was gonna use the anvil, but I was stumped on how to do it. Thanks, Treebeard!
I think that looks alright.
I mean, it's getting there.
Time to kill some humans.
So that's the main part of the shield done. It was pretty much exactly the same as the armor. The next thing we're going to do is make the spikes for the bottom bit of the shield. The way we're going to do that is going to get 2 bits of steel, and then we're going to fire weld them together and then put them over the edge of that, and it's going to form the spike. The reason we're fire welding is this has been way too easy so far, so we need to spice up the video. And I need to practice my fire welding, so I've not done it in ages. So that's the spikes forged. All we need to do now is cut them off and then spread them apart so we can slide them onto the shield. So now we're going to drill some holes in the spike. We're going to use 4mm because that's the size of the rivets we've got. Basically the same as every other bit on the armor. We're going to use my hobbyist drill. It's actually a little bit underpowered for this job, but I think we'll just rive it through. It'll be fine. I also got this vise, will be perfect for lining up my triangle shape. Oh, look at that. Oh, beautiful. That's the spikes routed onto the shield. Now we're going to attach the handle. It's simple forged, just drawn down at 2 ends and then flattened. And then we're just going to rivet it on. I wonder if that's right or if it should be higher up. Oh, yes. This is what happens when no one wants to pass you a hammer. So that is the steel working done. You might be wondering why we're holding a glove. And that's because we're doing leather working. You might recognize this. This is the bracer from the last video. And you see in the side here, it's a nice padded bit. What we're gonna do is do the same thing for the shield. And we're gonna use this glove. So on the bracer, you might notice there's forged buckles, but instead of forging them this time, I think what we're gonna do is cast them. So I've lined it up with the handle. So put the elbow in, and I'm just gonna drill it through and rivet it on. Oh my goodness, this is brilliant. That's so good. Right. Oh, hit me. Oh. So it's time to grind a little bit of an edge on the blade. I asked Aaron to find me a grinder and he found this. I have no idea where in all of Isengard he found it, but we're going to use it to grind an edge on the blade. There's a lot of lumps and everything on the edge from forging, but I decided to keep them in because the orc inside me says you're not a perfectionist, you're an orc. So that's us put a little bit of an edge on the blade. The wheel worked incredible. I was not expecting that. Since we saved all that money on the grinder, we actually bought some quenching oil. My neighbor's car lives to run another day. But you may notice that this is quite a thin quench tank, and that's because we're only going to be quenching the blade of the sword and leaving the back nice and warm, and we're going to kind of use that as the temper. You've seen it, but I haven't done it. It's time to cast the swords. And the reason I'm casting them is to purely rage bait you. And to cast these swords, I found this old copper and regulator that we're going to use. We're going to throw them in this crucible and hope for the best. Now to smash up the regulators, we're going to do it under the power hammer, but we need big PPE. Ooh. I'm gonna eat all the Play-Doh just like when I was 3. So we made a wooden one to go along with the steel one, and we'll be pressing this one into the sand to get our molds. Did you see it boiling? All the water. It's a lot of smoke. A lot of fire. Oh my goodness, that was very heavy. I don't think there's one good sword. Yeah, the forged one. There you go. Huh. General Kenobi. Wow, we're so good at casting things. Horrendously forged. Incredibly cool. So the final bit for the sword is to wrap the handle in leather. I've put the leather in hot water, and when we wrap the handle, the leather will shrink when it dries and it'll be nice and tight. So now we've made all 10,000 swords and shields. We're gonna go test them. With these swords and the 10,000 people that liked the last video, we could literally storm Helm's Deep together. Who's keen?